So the BMW M240i is now on a boot mode stage 2 93 octane tune, and it rips. But let's take it to Mexico and actually see how it does with the Draggy compared to what it was doing beforehand, and also compare it to our Volkswagen Golf R that we have outside as well, and just kind of get an overall comparison of the performance benefits. If you ever wanted real carbon fiber parts, I do have a promo code with carbon add-ons. Whether you have a Chevy, a Dodge, or a Mustang, a Ford, you can get real carbon fiber parts and save 5% off even on the discounted stuff using code FitCityGarage5, or use the link in the description of this video down below. So thanks for checking it out, and let's get on with the video. Now I do want to do kind of like a review real quick before we dive into the numbers and see how well this performs versus stock and compared to the Stage 2 E85 Golf R. I want to go over my initial impressions of the boot mode OTS Stage 2 93 tune. Now the only thing you need for this tune is a aftermarket downpipe. That's it. You just need a downpipe and you're good to go. And I'll be honest with you, it's changed the entire behavior of the car. People are not joking, especially when you pair this to an all-wheel drive vehicle, because the M240i can be rear-wheel drive, but I have the all-wheel drive version and it's just a monster. It really performs really well. When you put the transmission into sport mode, it really comes alive. This little turbo kicks out a lot of torque right off the rip in low RPMs when accelerating, and the fact that that's just exacerbated even more with the Stage 2 93 tune, you really feel it. It really zips around town. So if you're someone that's not really trying to beat the world and beat a whole bunch of really fast cars or anything like that, but you want something fun, something that still has luxury, all the bells and whistles, but you want something that's a little bit fun, you know, more fun to rip around town, the Stage 2 93 tune by Boot Mode 3 they're the ones. I strongly believe that you should go with them, and because I have nothing but good things to say about it. That's not to say that MHD might not be any better or might be just as good. I'm just saying this, so far that I've been driving on it, this tune from BM3 is very, very good. So I just kind of want to give my overall impressions on that. If you also pair this with a transmission tune from XHP, it's only going to be better. It's only going to be faster. The shifts are only going to be smoother and faster as well, which will already increase the performance of the vehicle even more, whether you're stock or on a tune, but it's even better with a tune, right? So really the only thing else that I could do to this car before we go into big turbo and then cooling and a built trans, which would probably be the last thing, the next thing we can do is get a flex fuel sensor and do a custom multi-map on 93 octane and be able to do anywhere from E30, or excuse me, anywhere from E50 down to just straight 93, because the sensor in the tune, the off-the-shelf multi-map tune from Boot Mode, will allow you to run flex, right? So those are flex fuel tunes, and allows you to run flex, and you'll have any kind of power output in between straight 93 all the way up to an E50 blend. So we are here, car is in the right settings, everything to go in good old Mexico. Now this is going to be slightly uphill, DA isn't favorable, but let's do it. Make sure we're up to 11 psi, and here we go. Just running good, running good. Only doing an 8, what you can do. Slow it down a little bit here, and let's go check out the results. All right, so we're back, and let's just kind of go over this a little bit. So don't worry about the low sats invalid. Like, I've got a brand new Draggy, it's been having issues. I don't know what's really going on, but nonetheless, this is what we got. Now the DA, again, it was a little bit higher than I expected. It's actually really nice outside, but for some reason the DA is still well over 2,000. So that's something to consider. Now the 0 to 60 is not too shabby, 3.65. I spun a little bit on the hit, but we are making more torque. The trav speed, I think, is what's most important, 95 miles an hour, because if we go back to, I had some kind of weird hero type run with this car. The slope was -1, so it was invalid. This was stock and 2900 DA. It was just like some kind
kind of freak 0 to 60 in 8th mile, but again, it was downhill, so this probably would have been substantially higher. But still, even with a freak stock run, this was just my first test hit on this car on stage 2 93. I do want to say that freak stock run, I did have the passenger seat out. I have the rear seats out right now, but I did have the passenger seat out, which is like 60 pounds, I think, or like 55 pounds. So we can improve this number just by taking out the passenger seat and taking out some extra weight. So this by no means was like a full kill run on race weight, whether we're at the drag strip or in Mexico. This wasn't a full race weight run. This was just our first test hit on the stage 2 93, and I'm pretty happy with it. A 3.6, 7.56. Now, how does that compare to stock? So I do have quite a few stock runs, and these are at the drag strip with a little bit worse DA. So we got a 7.83 at 3.9. Notice the trap speed is around 90 miles an hour, and that kind of stays true. The only time I got a better run or a better number at the drag strip was with a better 60 foot, because that's a 1.82 versus a 1.83. And then we've got a 7.8 here, 1.81. Actually, that was a little bit better. We must have been heat soaking. But the trap speed, as you can see, was around 90, and the 0 to 60 was around high 3.8s to 3.9. So the fact that this is a way better outcome is fantastic. So 5 more trap speed and a much better 0 to 60. Now, how does that compare to the best run in the Golf R? Well, this was the best run in the Golf R right here. 3.3 0 to 60, 7.36. Now look at that 60 foot, it's 1.73. I think we're gonna have to put a drag pack on the rear of this to really get it to hook up. But look at the trap speed. Trap speed was 95. So this is what is telling me, that this car, with everything considered at its race weight, and the Golf R with its hero run on its race weight, their power to weight ratio is about the same, because the Golf R is making around 440, maybe 450 on a good day to the tires on a stage 2 E85 off the shelf tune. This car should be making around 450 on average, maybe dipping into the 460s, but it's much heavier. So they're around the same power to weight ratio, and that's king. Power to weight ratio is king. This car isn't really putting down the good 60 foots, but again, I've only kind of had it on the street. If we take it to the drag strip, we'll probably run some better times. We'll probably hook up a little bit better. But overall, that's the comparison between what it's doing now. This is, again, just the first run versus stock, what you can kind of expect, and then also how it compares to a car I have here on the channel in the garage right now. My work car, basically, is the Golf R. So we can only go up from here. There's other things we can do. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, we can get a flex fuel sensor, which I think I'm going to do, and do a multi-map E50 tune. And it's just gonna, that 95 is gonna turn into probably, it's gonna be close to 100, and we're gonna be in the low 7s. And if I do get a rear drag pack for this, it's only gonna be better, right? We're only gonna get better. It's gonna be lighter. We're gonna have even more grip. It might not be necessary, but that 60 foot 1.5 isn't really cutting it. A trans tune is going to make this car faster as well. So there are some small things we can do that don't cost like a butt ton of money, but it will extremely improve this car's performance without hardly doing too much of anything, without going big turbo and things like that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Smash the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.